This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
We talked about how much improvement could we make between the first time we played them and the second time we played them, and I think that improvement was obvious, immense. Still got a lot to work on, but really proud of our effort, ability to overcome a slow start, hang around and make some big plays against, arguably one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the country on the road.
All right, Christina.
Yeah, Coach, we talked the other day about how you knew you probably wouldn't be able to out-rebound this team, but you set a goal, percentage-wise. Just what did that goal end up being? And then how are you able to kind of work around that rebounding tonight to keep it with them?
Yeah, we didn't do that. That was, again, the difference. I mean, Angel cleaned up a bunch of misses. Flaugier had a couple of big offensive timely rebounds. That was just that one area. We could have come up with 1 or 2 of those 50-50 balls. Could have been a completely different situation. But we didn't do a lot better in that area. I think we played better offensively. So it kind of covered some of that stuff up. But they still out-rebounded us by 25. I think she had 13 offensive rebounds by herself. And I think we tried more. I just don't think the result was there. I think our effort was a lot better, and that's why I'm going to be able to move on to our next game.
It might be effort, but what did you think was, the biggest difference between that first game and this one as far as your team and whether it was matchups or performance?
I thought we were better offensively. I thought we were able to punch back. And last time we let our defense carry over to the offensive side, and we weren't as good on offense. I don't know. I think our defense was probably worse tonight than it was the first time. I really do. I'll have to watch it on film, but my gut tells me it was worse because we made a couple of mental mistakes. Like, we'd be standing up yelling, "Don't get beat outside," and we'd get beat outside. That's poor coaching if we're yelling it and they're not doing it. So I thought we made some mental mistakes that we didn't make last time. I do think our effort was better, but I think mentally, and a lot of that had to do with, I don't know if you could sense it on the feed, but their student body, I don't know how many they had here, but it was vocal, it was honest, it was distracting. It was a really, really tough environment, and not an excuse, but I think part of the reason that we weren't as good defensively this time.
Ethan?
Yeah, Coach. Falling down, early right off the bat, and then I think the largest deficit was 14. Just what do you think about your team's resiliency it seemed like, at least on the broadcast, it was pretty loud in there, but they responded whenever those leads got double digits.
That's what I do love about them is that they're focused on the next possession. I think we proved that the other night with Mac. We give up the tough 3, Mac comes back and fires one. I think we've gotten to that next play mentality, and I think that after we calm down and took a big deep breath after that, that first time out, it was obviously a game that we were in control of, except for the first 2 minutes. So a lot to be positive. But in our league, it's one possession here and one possession there that will keep you awake on the plane at home. And when you get home, I know everybody will find 1 or 2 things they think they could have done better, and then collectively makes up the difference. But I'm not going to be too hard on ourselves because, again, I think LSU is one of the best teams in the country, and we're just not far off.
And then, was it an emphasis? The second half seemed like y'all were just really taking it to the rim, and y'all had 34 points in the paint. It wasn't really post-ups. It was a lot of drives. Just was that an emphasis to kind of open things up?
Yeah, I felt like once we got Angel in a little bit of foul trouble, it's going to be a little easier to get to the rim, a little less resistance protecting it. But, yeah, putting them in some actions to where, we were moving it and then re-attacking. They're so hard to go on your first action. Like if you call a set play that it's the first action, they're really good at guarding that. But if you can make them move 2 or 3 times, I thought our movement was better. I thought we just got the ball taken from us about 4 times in the first half. Like we'd be standing there and they'd just pop it loose. We eliminated that in the second half, got a little bit more aggressive, valued the ball a little bit better, but it was talked about. But it's one thing to talk about it, one thing to go out there and do it. And I think our guards did it. Aaron did it. And that I think is where we got kind of in the flow a little bit better.
One last thing I got is just both teams came in 1 and 2 in the country free throws attempted. They got to the line a lot more, but y'all shot 10 of 11 in a really tough environment. Just what do you think of the focus there?
We're getting better at it. You know, it's something we have been poor at, and we know we've got to be better at it. We got to continue to get there more. They just do a tremendous job of not fouling. I don't know that there were any extra fouls that, you know, we're probably not going to get any releases tomorrow about fouls that weren't called or something like I saw going around today. But I do think our kids are improving in that area. They're working at it. If we keep doing that, if we can do this on the road in this environment, this is a team that we'll all be proud of, regardless of how the results continue to take care of themselves. If we keep playing this hard, the good things will keep happening for us.
Any more, Ethan?
That was it for me.
Cool. Jordan?
Coach, I know there are no moral victories, but to play a team this close that's this good, are there any sort of positive things that you're taking away from this game?
You know, you haven't been here long enough to know I believe in them. I think there are moral victories. I think a lot of people say that, but if you're in that locker room every day, there are such things as those. There's not a such thing as it leading to a win column, but our kids have got to feel good about the improvement we made in 21 days. And we talked about that because there was a butt whipping up there. It wasn't close. So our improvement can be celebrated. And it can lead to good morale. It's not going to lead to a victory, but I think if I miss the opportunity to celebrate that with them, I think we're missing out on a chance to learn as a team. So, I mean, I think if you ask people around the country, I think most people look around and say that's a good effort by Arkansas. I hate that we lost. Don't get me wrong, but I'm glad that we battled more than we did the last time we played them. And just 21 days ago, again, we're not talking about 2 months ago. We're talking about 21 days, the improvement that we've made. If we work that hard and improve that much in the next 21, if we get a chance to see them again, maybe we can battle them on a neutral floor.
And last time we talked about your one-on-one defense in the post, you talked about your guards sort of getting in there and poking it free. How did you feel your guards performed in that aspect today?
Really good at times, and then other times we simply forgot to go do it. And every time that we forgot to go do it, it ended up in something bad happening for us. So whether that's conditioning or whether I need to rest them more, sub a little bit more, when we're right, when we do things like we've worked on in practice, we can guard anybody. But there were a number of times tonight that we just didn't do the right thing, and they made us pay every single time that we made a mental error. But I can't ask Aaron, I can't ask Miriam, I can't ask Saylor to play any harder than they did. I can just ask us to play a little bit better.
Dudley?
You know, after that start, can you just talk about their mental toughness, not only in the first half but the second half? I mean, easily could have gotten blown out and didn't, just stayed in there and fought. That's
why I love this team so much, is because they've got that in them. They've really together developed that. Hey, if we stick together and keep doing the right things, results will take care of themselves. I've been a part of too many teams that after that first start, it would have just blown out and gone. That's not in this team. So I think we can go into any environment. That's why we continue to challenge them with tough stuff in the non-conference, so we would be ready for that, because we've got to, you know, we go from this place to South Carolina on Sunday, and it's just going to be more people and louder. But to know that our kids stick together and they fight for each other, and they fight together, that's a pleasing thing for a coaching staff when your kids respond to stuff like that.
Appreciate it.
You got it.
Is that Randy?
Yeah, over there on the left.
I know. I'm trying to figure this computer out. Hey, Mike, talk about that sequence there with about 6 seconds left. You go with Sam on a drive to the basket, maybe rather than playing for the three. You're down by 3.
Yeah.
She drives, gets fouled, makes 2 of the free throws, but you're still down by 1.
Yeah, we're such great half-court shooters, Randy. You know, we proved the other night. We were trying for a quick 2 and then a foul. Just to me, on the road, you try to string that thing out. That play had 2 prongs. It had Sam to drive it if she thought she could score, which she did, or there was a peel back 3 for the tie. So it had both prongs depending on how they defended it. But I thought with that amount of time left, we had a chance to score, keep it a one possession. They're a good free throw and shooting team, but not great. So we wanted to give ourselves the chance just to lengthen that game out as long as we could. It's something I learned from talking to different coaches. When you're on the road, try to make the game last as long as you can. And Erin, we did run that play for Erin to shoot the three. She's been shooting it really good, and she got a great look at it. It just didn't go in. That was our chance. That was our try to tie it. And then after that, we were going to go 2 for 1 if we could.
Talk about the defense. Did you consider any kind of gimmick type of defense to slow Angel down? I mean, whether it be some kind of matchup zone, or could you borrow a wall from somebody and take it out there? Because, I mean, she was just I don't know what beast inside the lane tonight.
She has been for a long time. You can do an awful lot, and then there's some things you just can't do. I from watching teams, Randy, I think teams that try that, they end up wasting a whole bunch of time, and they end up with about the same result. And I think it takes away from the confidence of your team. I thought we guarded them good. Now we can carry that over and say, let's do that against the rest of our opponents. If it were a one-game deal, like if we were in a tournament or something and it was a one-game deal, maybe you consider that. Maybe you consider not guarding somebody and double teaming her every time. But I don't know that makes us better, which is what we're talking about. And if I go in and I put in the defense that we hadn't worked on all year, I think you lose a little bit of credibility, and you get out of alignment that, hey, this is one game and it stings to lose, but it did make us better for when we play X, Y, and Z the rest of the way out. Had we gone in and done something that doesn't work against those guys, then we waste an opportunity. And I'm just, I don't care about our win-loss record. I never have. If you keep challenging yourself, when you keep playing your stuff, it catches up for you in the long run. But if we had if we play them in one game in the tournament, I may call you and see what kind of geometric shape you can, maybe a rhombus in one, or an octagon in one or something.
I'm more simple than that. How about a diamond in one?
Diamond. There we go.
I am in the moral victories.
Good.
And I will say this, that under those conditions tonight, in that atmosphere, a moral victory, nothing wrong with that, because that maybe was one of the better college crowds I've seen in a while.
It was amazing. They fed their students. I don't know what they fed them out there, but they were here early and they were on us respectfully. They didn't cross the line. They made a difference in the game. We're gonna steal some ideas and try to get a game like that in Bud Walton. But they were here early. They're Coach Mulkey has revitalized their fan base to where it really got loud in there tonight. We couldn't hear each other calling ball screen coverages. We had to echo. We had to change our substitution policies the way we were doing it. The crowd impacted the game. What was the final score? We lose by 3? I'd tell you they were worth 3 points.
Yeah.
BetOnline remains your #1 source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. Bet Online, where the game starts.